need to talk here about something sad now.
Oh no, we're bringing it down.
Bringing it down.
Okay.
And this news is now, again, because we're so behind on channel surfing, several weeks old, although still in flux.
Oh, I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this, which is we have not talked about David Lynch leaving the Twin Peaks.
This is a bitter cup of coffee.
This is awful.
This is like a This is like a watery, grainy, bitter, nasty cup of coffee.
This is spoiled cherry pie.
Yeah.
You can't tell us we're getting new Twin Peaks from David Lynch, and then we don't get new Twin Peaks from David Lynch.
That's like, okay, so tomorrow morning when you wake up and it's your birthday, there's going to be a unicorn and a pony and unlimited ice cream, and you wake up and instead they greet you with you're wearing a retainer and your older brother pulls it out and then it snaps back into your mouth, which is actually how my older brother used to wake me up.
I was going to say this is oddly specific, but now I know it's like childhood trauma. Okay.
And then all you're doing all day is math.
Yeah, okay, yes.
It's just rude.
It just sucks.
It's just rude.
So yeah, I mean, look, people probably know. If you don't, it was a weird thing where it was during WonderCon, actually, I believe. Because, it was rumors were spreading at WonderCon, and then that the Twin Peaks revival was off, and then Lynch did that series of tweets saying he had left the project, and it was like, the way he phrased it was something about, like, they were not giving them the money that I thought was needed to tell the story right. But it was strange, and I will say here, it's easy to, like, attack Showtime, but in the wake of this, and the more I thought about it, and then the more Showtime has now talked about it, it's like, I feel it's a weird situation with, let's face it, a guy that we're both big fans of, who's a freaking weird guy.
Well, it's funny because our boss, Chris Carl, and I were talking about this shortly after it happened. I want to make a quick correction. It was my night guard that he pulled out and snapped back in, not my retainer. In any event, David Lynch, I think we theorize that it's possible, even on a subconscious level, that he got scared. Yeah. Because one of the things, the last project that he did was Inland Empire, I believe was the last movie he released. It was
been a while.
Not well received.
No.
And if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe it was Inland Empire, which was definitely not well received. Twin Peaks is such a legacy. It really, people talk about how it changed television, but it did. It was ahead of its time. And I think there's probably a tremendous amount of pressure in coming back to that. And I'm not saying he's not up to the task, but he could have gotten scared and asked for more money than he knew he wasn't going to get the money that he was asking for. Possible.
We can only speculate. He was the one through the years who seemed the most like hesitant to do it because of course there would always be questions, especially the way it ended. Will there ever be more Twin Peaks? And where the cast would be like, yeah, it'd be great. He always was very not jumping at the bit to do it, which is one of the reasons it was such a surprise to hear he was doing it. They have now, David Nevins, the head of Showtime, did an interview and he said, he basically said they were taken aback by this because they thought negotiating with him.
Right.
When on a Sunday he just did this tweet saying, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like that's the way he announced it, which isn't great. I feel fine saying like, that's not a great way to handle your business, you know? It's like tweeting like, I'm not doing this when like they thought that he was in the middle of negotiating. And he said, he got some crap for this, Nevins, from like hardcore Twin Peaks fan, because he said, I don't know if this is a negotiation tactic or if he got cold feet.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say because some people did think that's what he was doing, the negotiation tactic, being like, I'm out because this will like get them to throw some more money in.
I don't think so.
But I think it's more likely that he's like, maybe I don't want to do this.
Yeah, because I have David Lynch earrings. Yeah. Like I love David Lynch. I'm a huge fan, and he's never been driven by money. He never sort of.
And it wasn't his salary. Yeah. It was like the budget for Twin Peaks. It was apparently from what we hear, it was the debate over how much money they were going to spend per episode.
No, I know, but even in terms of his creative projects, it's not like there was a ton of money behind 90% of what he did ever. And so I think he decided for whatever reason, and this is pure conjecture, I don't know. I wanted Twin Peaks to happen so badly. Right. Not without him, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I think he just decided it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
That to leave that as it was, maybe ultimately it is the right thing. It's very disappointing for me as a fan. But I will say I do not want to see a Twin Peaks that doesn't have Lynch attached to it.
Absolutely not. And I do think Showtime knows better, because we heard they could still do it without him, and they could. But I think they know better than, and so, the
Just
day
because you can.
Yeah, just because you can, you shouldn't. The day this all happened, there was also, I saw a lot of tweets of like, give him whatever he wants. And it's like, let's be realistic here, people. Like, I don't, Showtime is not known for being notoriously cheap or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, but there will be a limit. And we don't know how big an audience there is for Twin Peaks coming back. It was a big hit out of the gate that then dissipated in the ratings. It's got a cult audience, a loyal cult audience, but that doesn't mean it's going to come back and be, I think, this is a weird example because it was a much shorter window. But when 24 came back, it wasn't like, oh, it's a blockbuster again.
Yeah.
It did okay, So it realistically, no, Showtime shouldn't give him whatever he wants if he's like, I need 30 million an episode.
Right.
No.
And we don't know, we really don't know what he was
Yeah.
asking for per episode
Yeah.
or where the negotiations landed, but it does sound like he decided he was done negotiating.
Right, because it sounded like Showtime was like, this is normal part of the process, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
Like, there will be a compromise,
Yeah.
He's asking for this huge amount, we're asking for this, we'll meet in the middle, because that's
Yeah.
how this is done.
Right.
And then he walked, and yeah, I do think it was, whether you say it's cold feet, like I can't deliver, or more like maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, I mean, either way, and again, like this isn't to say that he can't deliver, because I still believe in David Lynch.
Yeah.
But he may have decided that he didn't want to take the risk.
Yeah.
That it wouldn't be his vision anymore.
Yeah.
And
look, I selfishly want this to happen. I do hope they can work it out. If he feels like, yeah, I should do this, I want to do this. And a few months ago, it seemed like he was all psyched up to do it, because I want to see it. The fact we keep hearing that they did write all 9 scripts.
Yeah.
It's just to have it be that close and to not happen is heartbreaking.
And even if they don't do it, then just release the scripts.
Release the scripts, right? Yeah. We'll see.
I'll
I mean,
read
this
those
is still
scripts.
kind of up in the air because no one said anything definitively. If we don't hear anything by TCAs, trust me, it'll be big topic with Showtime.
Somebody could do a graphic novel of those scripts.
There you go. So we'll see. But
and then animate it.
To think it's coming and then it doesn't happen.
It's horrible.
Yeah, we'll see.
Bitter cup of coffee.
We'll see. Bitter cup of coffee.